What does it take mentally to survive a crisis alone? This is the question that confronts every solo survivalist. The answer is complex, yet simple. It requires a mind as tough as nails and a spirit that refuses to be crushed. Imagine for a moment, you're alone in the wilderness or navigating through a post-collapse urban landscape. The physical challenges are daunting, yes, but the mental challenges? They're often even tougher. You're your own coach, your own cheerleader. There's no one around to help carry the load, to offer a word of encouragement or to provide a fresh perspective when problems arise. That's why mental toughness, the ability to push through adversity and maintain your focus under pressure, is absolutely crucial. And let's talk about stress. It's a given in a survival situation. The question isn't whether you'll face stress, but how you'll manage it. Techniques such as deep breathing, visualization, and even simple mindfulness can help keep stress levels in check. It's about finding that calm within the storm, that center in the midst of chaos. Then there's morale, that intangible yet incredibly important factor. Keeping morale high when you're alone can be challenging. But it's not impossible. It's about finding joy and satisfaction in the small victories, whether that's successfully building a fire, finding a clean water source, or just making it through another day. It's about maintaining a sense of purpose, reminding yourself why you're fighting to survive. And it's about taking care of your mental health, giving yourself permission to feel the fear, the loneliness, the frustration, but then letting those feelings go so they don't drag you down. So, as we delve into the practicalities of solo survival, remember this: your mind is one of your most powerful tools. It's your ally, your guide, your source of strength. Nurture it, train it, trust it. Because when the chips are down, your mindset and your preparedness are what will see you through. Remember, a strong mind is just as important as a strong body in a survival situation. How can you navigate a post-collapse urban environment safely and effectively? Imagine the urban jungle, now devoid of law and order, where survival isn't just about finding your next meal, but also about evading potential dangers. Welcome to the world of urban survival skills. Here, knowledge and quick thinking can be your greatest assets. Stealth movement is your first line of defense. It's not about being unseen, but unnoticed. Merge with the environment. Use shadows, cover, and the natural flow of the environment to avoid drawing attention. Remember, the less noise and disturbance you make, the less likely you are to attract unwanted company. Next, identifying resources can be the difference between survival and the alternative. Knowing where to find food, water, and other essentials is crucial. Abandoned stores, rainwater collection, and even discarded items can be valuable resources. But remember, not all resources are physical. Information can be just as valuable. Keep your ears open and your eyes peeled for any signs of changes in the environment or other survivors. Finding safe shelters is another vital skill. Look for places that are easy to secure, have multiple exits, and are away from the main thoroughfares. Abandoned buildings, rooftops, and even underground spaces can provide a safe haven in an urban landscape. Finally, avoid common urban dangers. These can range from unstable structures and harmful debris to other survivors who may not have your best interests at heart. Always be aware of your surroundings, anticipate potential threats, and have a plan to escape if needed. Knowing the urban landscape can be your greatest asset. With the right skills and knowledge, you can navigate the concrete wilderness, not just survive but adapt and overcome. Remember, in a world of chaos, the most valuable tool you have is your mind and its ability to think, plan, and adapt. So keep learning, keep practicing, and keep refining your urban survival skills. What skills are essential for surviving in the wilderness? Now, let's dive deep into the world of rural and wilderness survival. This is where Mother Nature herself becomes your most reliable ally, as well as your fiercest adversary. When you're alone in the wilderness, you'll need to utilize the environment to your advantage while mitigating its risks. First, let's talk about sustenance. Finding food in the wilderness is an art. It involves recognizing edible plants, trapping small animals, and fishing. Always remember, some plants can be poisonous, so it's essential to know what's safe to eat. Next, water. The human body can't survive more than 3 days without it. Look for flowing water sources like rivers or streams. But keep in mind, even the cleanest looking water can harbor bacteria or parasites. You'll need to purify it before drinking, either by boiling, using purification tablets, or a portable filter. Shelter is your next priority. You'll need protection from the elements, be it scorching sun, torrential rain, or bone-chilling cold. Learn how to build a simple lean-to or a more elaborate debris hut using branches, leaves, and whatever else nature provides. Now what if you need to signal for help? Three of anything, be it fires, piles of rocks, or logs, is a universally recognized distress signal. And don't forget about mirrors or shiny objects. They can be used to catch the sun's rays and signal aircraft or distant rescuers. Navigation is crucial. Understanding the basics of using a compass and reading a topographic map can save your life. But even without these tools, you can use natural landmarks, the position of the sun or stars, or even the growth patterns of moss on trees to find your way. Lastly, you'll need to handle wildlife encounters wisely. Knowledge of local fauna, understanding animal behaviors, and knowing what to do in an encounter can mean the difference between coexisting peacefully and inviting danger. The wilderness can be a harsh teacher, but with the right skills, it can also provide everything you need to survive. How can you protect yourself when you're on your own? When it comes to self-defense and security, the lone wolf survivalist must be a jack of all trades. Let's start with unarmed combat. It's not about being the strongest or the fastest, but about knowing where to strike. Key points like the eyes, nose, throat, and groin can incapacitate an assailant regardless of their size. Training in martial arts like Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, or even basic boxing can provide valuable skills for self-defense. Now let's talk weapons. When you're alone in a survival situation, you won't always have a firearm or a knife handy. That's where improvisation comes in. Anything can be a weapon if you use it right. A rock, a stick, even a credit card can be deadly in the right hands. The key is to use what's around you effectively. Next up, secure sheltering. Your shelter is your fortress. Whether it's an abandoned building in the city or a makeshift tent in the woods, it needs to be secure. Look for places that are hidden, have good sight lines, and only a few points of entry. Always have an escape route in mind and keep your most valuable supplies with you, ready to move at a moment's notice. Perimeter security is also crucial. This involves setting up traps and early warning systems around your shelter. Traps can be as simple as a pitfall or as complex as a snare. Early warning systems can be as straightforward as a string with cans attached or as high-tech as a battery-powered motion sensor. Remember, the goal isn't necessarily to harm intruders, but to deter them and give you time to react. Your first choice should always be to avoid conflict if possible. But if it's unavoidable, you need to be ready to defend yourself and your shelter. When you're alone, your safety is in your own hands. Be prepared to defend it. What happens when you get sick or injured and there's no doctor around? That's where medical self-care comes into play. You need to know how to handle medical emergencies on your own. This includes understanding first aid essentials, from cleaning and dressing wounds to recognizing signs of infection. Natural remedies can also be a lifesaver. Many plants have medicinal properties, like yarrow for wound healing or willow bark for pain relief. You just have to know what to look for. Managing long-term health concerns is another aspect you need to consider. If you have chronic conditions, knowing how to maintain your health with limited resources is crucial. This could be as simple as knowing how to ration your medication, or as complex as understanding how to adjust your diet to manage symptoms. Remember, in a survival situation, your health is your wealth. It's not just about surviving, it's about maintaining your well-being in challenging circumstances. What should you pack in your ultimate solo survival kit? That's a question we're going to answer right now. When packing for a survive-on-your-own scenario, it's crucial to strike a balance between weight and utility. Your survival kit should include the essentials without overly burdening you. First and foremost, consider your basic needs: food, water, shelter, and fire. Pack high-calorie, non-perishable food items, water purification tablets, a compact tent or tarp, and a reliable fire starter. Next, think about tools and equipment. A multi-tool is invaluable, offering numerous functions in one compact design. Also, consider a sturdy knife, cordage, and a headlamp. For long-term sustainability, you'll want a good quality hatchet for wood processing, a compact fishing kit, and seeds for cultivating food. Lastly, don't forget first aid. Your kit should include bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers, and any necessary prescription medication. Remember, your survival kit should be tailored to your specific needs and environment. The right gear can make the difference between surviving and thriving. How can you stay informed and connected in a disconnected world? Picture this. You're alone. The grid has gone down and the usual channels of communication are no longer available. What do you do? The answer lies in understanding how to gather information and communicate effectively in a crisis. The first and foremost technique is active observation. Keep your senses sharp, listen for distant sounds, watch for changes in your environment, and always stay aware of your surroundings. This can provide you with valuable information about potential threats, weather changes, and other survivors. Next, let's talk about emergency radios. These devices can be lifesavers in a crisis, providing you with access to essential news and weather updates, and even allowing you to communicate with other survivors. Invest in a good quality, hand crank or solar-powered emergency radio, and learn how to use it before a crisis hits. Remember, it's not just about listening. You might also need to transmit messages for help or to connect with others. Then there's the matter of signals. Visual signals like flags, mirrors, or smoke can be used to attract attention from a distance. Auditory signals like whistles or gunshots can also be effective, but remember, these can also draw unwanted attention. Use them wisely. In addition, understanding basic codes and ciphers can be useful. They allow you to leave messages for others or interpret the ones you find. Simple symbols scratched onto a tree or a piece of paper could mean the difference between finding help or walking into a trap. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of human interaction. If you encounter other survivors, use these opportunities to exchange information. Be cautious though, not everyone you meet will have good intentions. In a crisis, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay connected, stay alive. By mastering these techniques for communication and information gathering, you can maintain a crucial lifeline to the world around you, even when you're surviving solo.